Hello, everybody.
Hey, welcome back to the Sin Providence, everybody. Episode
25.
24? 25. It was 24 or 25, one of the two. Yeah, welcome back to the show, everybody. As always, I'm your storyteller, Mike Martin, joined by three of my lovely players today, Dot, Bub, and Tracy. Hello.
Oh yeah, I almost did the pew pew pew, but I realized that's our Fallout game. We do the pew pew intro, not
right.
VtM. Yeah, we go pew 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 for Fallout.
No, VtM,
yeah,
you dropped to your knees and begged for forgiveness.
Yeah, VtM. We just start crying now. Got it.
Oh, no.
No, we're still working up to the first cry. I don't know if anybody cried in the first season of SOS, so I don't think that happened in SOS.
Oh, we did. When Mama's head was taken, there were tears.
Oh, yeah.
There were tears.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Welcome back to the show, everybody. We will be jumping right back into the game. We usually do a recap, but because only one of the players here was here last week, we won't recap last week. We'll recap the week before momentarily. But if you're jumping in and you're ready to get going, hi. If you want to support the show, please do so by joining our Discord, which is totally free. Then another episode of this show went live on the audio podcast feed a couple days ago. If you're listening there, hey, drop us reviews. And if you want to go above and beyond, subscribing here or heading to our Patreon is the best way to do it at patreon.com/podbynight, where you can get our after shows, where last week's after show, a lot of discussion about the choices that were made last week, which was really fun. It's been a while since I've been like consequences are coming. And all I can
Which
say
sucks
is
because I did what I was
consequences are
supposed to
coming.
do, and the consequences are still coming. It doesn't matter if you do right or bad. Fuck.
Is
the
there a
consequences.
right or a wrong call in any of the games we've ever played together, or is there
Just
just
upset.
one?
Yes, yes.
It wasn't me
believe-
that did something dramatic. That I'm
Clyde's
usually the
head
one
through table.
But that
Bad
was because you
choice,
rolled
right?
a bestial crit.
That's true. Picking
bestial
the bodies
failure.
up and taking it to the alleyway. Definitely the wrong choice. That was a better choice with far less consequences. I'm
Sure
just
enough.
saying, sometimes there is.
Yeah, that's true. Sometimes there is. Yeah, we'll get to that. We'll get to that in a moment. There is a fun announcement that we have gotten the final edit of the very last re-recording of the finale of SOS. While it's not up yet publicly for people, it is in our
done.
hands. It will be hopefully live within a week or so. I imagine. I think we just got to get a hold of a couple people and figure out a schedule for uploading and make sure people listen through to it and there's no changes or anything we want done for it, but I don't think there will be. I'm very excited to get that out because obviously that is a finale people have been waiting for a while. So we're excited for you.
As somebody that listened to it top to bottom, did all the video editing and
Mhm.
the subtitles, because I made sure that there are open captions. It is an audio thing. It's gonna be very different, I think, than anything y'all have listened to before. For those of you that like our podcast stuff, I think this is gonna really scratch your itch, right? Cool sound effects. But then there's just there's some gut wrenching moments that really tore me up in some
Re-listening
places.
to them.
So I mean, I
editor-
listened to it. I was about to say I listened to it top to bottom like 2 or 3 times because I had to, like I said, I fixed the subtitles and names and things that
Our editor
so anyway,
approached me and he was like, "Hey man, this is awesome."
yeah.
Oh,
It's like, this
awesome.
is-
Glad he said that.
You guys did so well. This is awesome. I was like, "Thanks, man. That's great. We love that."
So everybody gear up. Go tell your friend who hasn't heard about the finale in a hot minute. Tell them it's coming. I promise we'll get it out very soon. I'm very proud of it. I know it took longer than planned, but y'all's patience helped us get a better final product because we promised y'all it wasn't something we wanted to lack in care, right?
true.
Before we put it out to you. It was all about making sure that we did some justice to something that we all loved very much. And I feel like we've accomplished that. So
Yeah, I mean, when we were re-recording it, every one of you was immediately like, "I feel like I'm going to cry again." I'm like, "Man,
Yep,
you still-
I'm having a
you still-
moment.
The connections are right there with your characters.
yeah, it's
They're-
funny. You can actually hear my voice crack at one point.
Aw.
Yeah, there's one point where like my voice, a couple times you can hear voice cracks. It's very good.
Yeah, so that'll be up soon enough. I'm excited for all of you. I'm excited to go listen through it to myself today. I haven't had a chance to listen through it yet. So yeah, I'm excited for that overall. Before we jump into the show itself, would we like to recap 2 weeks ago? Because it has been a couple weeks since the 3 of you were together. Last
God,
week,
and I had to recap it for.
you will. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Oh, this
No,
would
wait,
be-
I'm not talking. Janet had to recap for Betty and Leon, who have been gone for like 2 weeks. What the hell's been going on?
Oh,
but
So
man.
you know what? It's not on me this week.
Janet had a moment of she felt good because she was talking to 2 other kindred who felt like they could
I
communicate
needed
with her.
some people with a little less innocence to bounce
Yeah,
ideas off of. In full transparency,
A
okay?
lack of naivete from the characters.
I needed somebody that wouldn't judge me if I said something a little off the wall.
Well,
All right, recap. Sorry, I had a cat
But,
potentially attacking
guess
another
what?
cat, so I got
Not it.
distracted.
Trace, I'll work with you here, Trace. Just help me remember, and I'll help you remember. We can do
what
this.
I remember is stuff with Liz, and I believe we were at the diner with her.
Yeah. Yep. She's going on a
and
trip. She's going to be gone, but we know that it's going to fail.
Yeah,
horribly.
David, you were like trying to convince her not to go, and she didn't seem convinced.
That's not all David said.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
oh,
David
God.
was very transparent. He was really obvious about his truths, though they didn't seem to make a lot of sense because traditional mortals don't want to accept that someone might be impervious to traditional bullets, or they might be able to fly, or that they realize
Like
that someone
Superman.
is
Traditional human beings wouldn't believe that.
Yeah,
A cardboard would believe you, but a traditional
Yeah.
human being might not.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's what it boils down to is she's going to go on a trip and she's going to come back with some extreme bends. She's going to be having some cravings. And
You don't want that, David. Get
yeah,
her a
it's-
piece.
Jeez. Can we never say it like that again?
David had his piece. That was the other part that happened 2 weeks ago. Is David he had a piece.
Wow,
no, he had
3 weeks ago.
2 weeks. Yeah, 3 weeks ago. 2
Thank
weeks ago,
you.
he had returned
They
from
didn't
getting
want
a
that
piece.
piece. Okay, it was.
We got him a new jumper. Since his pants were ruined.
It's true. I look like a bizarre blue elf.
Now, do y'all remember why we went to Liz? Because we were afraid that she might be in danger, having come in contact with David. So the one was to try to tell her that she could be in danger.
Well, then, like, David's not convinced that she's not special. There's something about her that is inherently special.
Yeah. Janet's not convinced now either. But we did go check out the lottery ticket situation.
Yes.
I think last after show, the one y'all weren't a part of, I dropped a theory that I have about Liz and why this is going on. But Dot is wiser, not Janet. Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's some interesting correlations, and it's been speculative based on like the date that we were given. Remember the year? It was the Hagia Sophia year, right? And there is a correlation that I, as Bob, realized that is supposed to have been I can't remember if it's the death of Merlin. But it's pretty significant in fiction regarding Merlin and just wizardry at large, but also being where there is a history of witches and magic in general. Like this place is just it's rife. It's ready. We're in some wizarding world without being in the Potterverse, man. It's kind of crazy stuff.
Yeah. Not far from Salem, so all sorts of magic shit.
You're in a magical place, sandwiched between two magical blood mages, like opposing chantries.
But for clarity, just for clarity's sake, when we started this game, we talked about it, and I just want to confirm that for suspicion's sake, this isn't fairies.
No.
Yeah, correct.
Right.
I mean, I'll just say it out loud because like we did that already. Like I'm not going to do another
changeling
heavy changeling story. Not that SOS was like changeling heavy, but it mingled in the changeling world pretty heavily for the prequel reasons where we did that 6 episodes of Just Around the Corner to just the way I went. No, I have no like Fae characters so far in the game.
Okay. I thought that was the case, but I just wanted to get clarification not only for us, but for people listening at home.
Yeah. Doesn't mean you won't see like a Fae character occasionally or eventually, or like a changeling character, not necessarily like a true Fae, but like a changeling at some point or whatever. But it's not, I mean, that was the whole thing that kicked off SOS. To do that again feels repetitive, I guess, in that same way. And it's the same reason why I would say it's like, I'm not telling a story of like a Methuselah taking over the world.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like as much as like we all loved Sybil.
So we had back to recap. Liz was sort of talked down from it because Janet's her own superhero, and David doesn't know how to talk to people. And we had the theft of her personal lighter. David was very interested in getting back so that he could continue a sculpt of this person that he can't get out of his head for some reason. It's what he's been sort of mysticizing about for a little while. That was like my 11 successes on a craft check. Carried that up to the top to show everyone, but that was like the end of the episode, I think.
Yeah. The Brujat showed up at the end of the episode to be like, "Hey, you asked me to go do this. I found somebody."
I can never remember that guy's name. I never remember his name. Roman. Yes. Yeah.
Motorcycle hot guy.
That's right.
Roman.
That's
Yes.
I have a friend whose name is actually Roman. He's a very, very good friend, and he is like
the motorcycle hot guy.
He is. Yeah,
it's a great name.
Him just like my friend Roman. Like he actually is like he's kind of like young. Jeff Goldblum is actually what he looks like, but very handsome and rugged and like a hot Jeff Goldblum.
That's Roman.
Tracy's like,
truly, that's how I picture him.
Is he single?
He is not. In fact, his wife is twice as gorgeous. So sorry, y'all. They're like they are next level gorgeous.
Motorcycle hot guy, you get double the gorgeous wife. That's just how
I'll have to let Roman.
Damn, dude, made a wrong turn somewhere in life. Should have bought a motorcycle.
Yeah, mine was liking anime at 11 years old. And that was my wrong term. There's no going back. No, Roman is actually the name of like my young cousin. That's where I pulled that name from.
Funny.
My like 13-year-old cousin. His name's Roman. So I was like, I like that name. I'm going to use it. So we left off with the Bruja showing up and being like, so you wanted to like an off the grid Tremere to go to. There's this person that I'm told she can do maybe blood magic. This is what she goes by. And this is where she is. And at that moment, you know, it's David, the camera pulled back to reveal David was chipping away at a statue that looked like a familiar character from SOS called the Witch of the Yards, which is the title she goes by. There was some out of game theorizing as to why this character may or may not be here. And that's kind of where it was left off. There was a little bit of like chatter, and then we more or less would say, I guess the night ended there. The next evening, David was kind of technically around the quarry when Leon and Betty were there, but he was off doing his own thing, kind of like chipping away at stone or whatever. And I imagine Elspeth went out and did some like shopping and stuff. I don't, whatever else. Actually, no, Elspeth.
Practice.
Whatever Elspeth does.
No, yeah, no, whatever the hell Elspeth fucking does. Would Elspeth ever go visit her touchstones?
Yes, she probably would. Yes.
Okay. We'll take a peek at that today then. And we'll pick up the following evening as you come back to get back together with Janet the following evening. But before we dive into that, if that's all, if there's anything else we want to cover that we didn't cover prior, we did.
I can't remember a lot.
I think the biggest thing is like we didn't have a chance. So when they showed up, I forced Betty and Leon to leave y'all alone. Leon showed up to do some security stuff, so like they weren't allowed to talk to the two of you because you were busy doing other things. And then I think one night passed, Mathis, because we had to wait
Only a
until the
night.
next day, right, to get the object. Okay, cool. Then yeah, that's about
there
it.
was like,
Y'all,
there was
Janet
about last week there was about 2 nights that passed overall.
Passed,
Like 2
yeah,
total
so-
nights. The week before that, when you were all here, we did go fast. We fast forwarded
7
a
days.
week, remember? Which is so Liz is in Europe, or she's gone. She's been gone for a couple of days.
Yep.
She's supposed to be back in about a week or 2, if I remember correctly.
I think I wrote it down. I think it was 9 days.
Yeah, I think
or
it was
something
something
like that.
9 days. So without further adieu, let's set the scene, ring things in, and see what the Fall Guys, our dearest coterie, has been up to. Did anybody officially become part of the coterie last week? Did Betty?
No.
No, I feel like there was somebody who was like, I guess I'm part of the coterie then. That being said,
yeah, no.
Tracy, I would love to hand this into your hands for a moment as our camera fades in. Fellow ST over there, I saw you had your game going episode 1 last night. I hope you killed it. I hope it was great.
I had a receptionist named Katie in our honor. So
and you didn't forget. That's amazing.
I'll never forget her
She'll
name.
never forget that now.
You'll never forget her name. You literally forgot her name like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
When you are visiting this particular individual, why don't you go ahead and give me a description of the surrounding area? Where is it that, as we pick up, because you would separate from the coterie on a night where you were gone. When you visit this individual, I'm curious, where in Boston are we? Do you actually like make contact with them? Do we see Elspeth staying away and walk? Like, give us a nice little scene set up to what Elspeth, the usual visitation to one of her touchstones.
Yeah.
Looks like.
I'm debating which touchstone, as I do have 3, and they're all still part of my life. As Elspeth, again, as we all know, is young. She's only been embraced for a year or 2, barely, and
Yeah, a little over a year now.
You know, she was a ghoul for some time, but you know, she still keeps some tabs on her life and her previous life, and I think the person who she cares about the most is her grandmother, who lives outside of the city. Well, so I don't know if I'm allowed to go visit her.
How far outside the city is she?
It's like she can't really afford an apartment in like Boston proper, so she probably lives in one of like the suburban areas outside of Boston. Not terribly far, but you know.
No, and
city living's expensive.
Yeah, of course. And I think it's you're not leaving the state, so to speak, and so long as you are not hunting outside of your designated area. I mean, you could technically make a poaching attempt and not get caught. There's a very good chance you don't get caught. But unless you're going super far outside the city, or you are actively breaking the rules of like poaching and the like, then you're fine. Do you have an idea of like, does she live in an apartment? Does she live with people? How old is she?
She's probably in her early or late 70s, early 80s, and lives, I wouldn't say she lives probably not in an assisted but living, but like a 65 plus like community or something like that.
Yeah,
And she has some
absolutely.
caretakers that come, see her as she lives alone. It's just her. My grandfather passed away some time ago.
Mhm.
She probably is actually more like like right outside the Cambridge area, is what I'm thinking. So,
Okay, let's take a look here.
it's
Cambridge is right there. So she's probably out in Somerville or Medford, north of Boston for people who are unfamiliar with New England or Boston in general. Cambridge sits literally, it's like the rich area of like when you step outside of Boston, it's where all the people
You
with
have to
too much
cross a
money.
bridge, right? There's like a river. You cross the river,
Yep.
and then it's all wealthy.
And then
Yeah.
Cambridge and then Somerville. So, as you get further out, it's a little less expensive. So, like, Medford or Somerville, somewhere right there, probably off 93, is where she's at. You said like an assisted living center is likely where she is.
or like a 65 plus, like an older community.
Oh, right. Yeah, more
Yes.
like an older community. And she's how old again? 70?
Like probably like 79,
Okay,
pushing
gotcha.
80.
Is it parent side, mom or dad?
Mom's side.
And
Mom's side.
you have no connection or communication with your parents out of curiosity? Or is that something we can explore as we go?
Something we can
viewers.
explore as we go.
Sure.
As her grandmother Lenore is the only living grandparent she has at this time, and they were very close for a lot of her younger life. It's also not far from the university she went to, Tufts, Elspeth.
Tufts.
So she would visit her grandmother in between school and all of that stuff. So
we'll say this little area, this little gated community for senior living, as our camera fades in on this evening, and our camera being kind of pointed at the sky, we see it's a very clear night with a mostly full moon illuminating the streets rather brightly, with the orange lights of the street lights adding more of a tone and atmosphere to your drive rather than any additional visibility. And as you're driving out, you're driving your car, your hearse, if I remember correctly. As the camera kind of pans down and we see this hearse traveling along I-93 down the 3-lane highway early in the evening, so there's still plenty of traffic as people are going into Boston for a night out and other people are heading out of Boston to head home. We follow your car as the orange lights rhythmically pass over your hearse one after the other as you're passing and driving kind of normally. You're not driving in a way that you're trying to get there in a hurry. You're not looking to make a drive check, essentially, is what I'm asking. And as you kind of leave the Boston city bounds and move out to the Cambridge area where you're saying now entering Cambridge, you kind of break off the highways for a bit and you drive down those lanes or those roads that are like 2 to 3 on each side, and down the center is like that thick tree line that breaks apart the two lanes that you see in rich neighborhoods where it's just like a green strip with trees, and you keep driving down past these places, eventually moving into Somerville. And just about 3 or 4 blocks away, we can see this large kind of gated community with a couple really big white buildings made of concrete. And the sign outside of it actually says St. Simon's Rest, which is where your grandmother, Lenore, lives. Now, as you pull up, as Elspeth pulls up, does she pull into park? Does she drive away? This is, I guess, where we see, do you actively have face-to-face communication with your grandmother or not?
She does, still, yes.
So as the car comes up, as we're following around, we see the blinker to taking a right turn come on as you drive past a couple of like a gas station, some open area with some trees before eventually the turn into the parking lot to this place is. As you pull in, there's a little gated community, like that security guard who's just like watching something on his phone. He looks up, you show him a badge or what have you, and he just kind of mindlessly presses a button while going back to whatever YouTube video he's watching, and the little plastic security thing jerkily lifts itself up a few times before you are able to get your car through, and it closes down behind you. And if you were to live there, you would just drive straight up to the closer parking, but for guest parking you immediately take a right and you're more on the outer edges. we see you park your hearse, and as the lights go out and Elspeth steps out the car, what are you wearing on this evening?
Probably the usual decorative stockings with the Mary Janes, a dark blue plaid skirt with a sweater, and her hair always that long white ashen hair that she has tied back with a little black bow.
And as you're walking up to, does Elle wear heels? No. Yes, flats?
Not usually, no.
Sneakers?
Usually like flats. There might a very small heel, but mostly flats.
Unlike, the stride of a toreador, in my mind, obviously, please correct me if I'm wrong, she's your character. There's more of like a half scuffing to your walk, more lost in the thoughts of, seeing your grandmother or whatever other kind of tangential thoughts are going. So we hear like a couple clacking of, not clacking, but a couple footsteps followed by a couple that scrape as the ball of your foot isn't lifted high enough off the ground because you just didn't put that much effort into it, and you scuffle a little bit over. Eventually get to the front of this building, and there's a giant list of buzzers and first initial last names, and eventually find L. What's the last name?
Vane, Vane.
Okay, didn't know if it was, if it would be. You did say it was in your mother's, right?
Oh yes, that's true. So probably would be a different last name.
You can hold it if you want to take a moment.
Yeah,
You don't have to worry about that last name. We just find your grandmother's,
Yep.
and I imagine we kind of pan up to Elspeth's face, and does she look excited? Does she look? How long has it been since you've seen her grandmother? How often do you check in on her?
It's probably been a hot minute. Like it's probably been like 6 months. So she always has to. Elspeth always on the drive to her grandmother has to get the story straight. Oh, okay. So like, why was I busy? What at work was keeping me for all this time, and just coming up with the stories that she has to make to tell her grandmother as to why she can't visit as frequently, et cetera, et cetera. So that's like just how her mind is moving at that pace at this point.
And we see maybe your eyes kind of like looking up to the top left, top right before you're like, okay, and you just hit the button, and you hear like a very quiet like for a minute, and there's a couple of beats before there isn't even a voice of your grandmother. She just immediately unlocks the door. You just hear the buzzing of the front door unlocking, the chunk of the lock letting go, and you swing it open to the rush of that stale, clean air of any well-kept elderly apartment building greeting you, a rush of warmth to overtake you, the cool air that you walk in from. And as you step in, you kind of like walk into a common area where there's like a bunch of mailboxes and stuff, and there's an elevator to get you up, and there's also stairs to get you up. And she's on the second floor of this 4-story building. Out of curiosity, as Elspeth walks in, do we see Elspeth go check her grandmother's mailbox? Or little things. I'm just trying to piece together the scene in fine detail. We see Elspeth walk in, and we follow her. She walks over to her grandmother's mailbox. You can see she didn't get her mail for today. I imagine you maybe even have a spare key that she's given you. And you kind of pop it out and take a couple pieces of the mail. It closes and locks, and you make your way over to the stairs.
Yes, I go to the stairs and head up to the second floor.
Head up to the second floor, and it's a building, or rather apartment, that's the word I'm looking for, 12A on the left. You walk down a little bit, and eventually it's just right there. And before you can even, as you're making your way over to the door, just as you're reaching for the door handle or maybe even a knock, you hear the deadbolt on the other side let go. And as the door opens, how tall is Elspeth?
5'6", probably.
So your
Average.
Grandmother's like 5'3", 5'2".
Yeah.
As the door opens, what does your grandmother look like?
She looks pretty healthy actually for her age. Her hair is all, the biggest sign is definitely her hair, receding hair, white. She's thin. Probably at this point in the day, she's got her like little nightgown on. Elspeth also tries to get there earlier in the evening because her grandmother has like a strict like 10 p.m. bedtime, so she wants to make sure she could see her before then. So probably just like a long robe, and her face, you can see some similarities to Elspeth, like probably mostly in her eyes. In the like, Elspeth has these darker, like brown eyes, and her mother or her grandmother has the same, as well as her mother has those same eyes.
And as the door swings open, this little lady, kind of as described by Elspeth, or rather Tracy, swings open. She goes, before she even steps out, she pulls the door wide open and she just kind of motions you. She's like, get in, get in. I already knew it was you. No one else visits me at this hour. The studies must have you absolutely booked. And she just kind of closes the door behind you and locks it. And as soon as you step in, as you take a smell, you can immediately smell food that had been cooking, little spices that are lingering in the air. You can see the Wheel of Fortune is running on the background of her old CRT TV that has been long out of date, with a VCR DVD combo that sits on top, with the digital clock that is off by like 15 minutes straight. She has a couple of little Mary statues that sit up there, and off to the left of the TV, sitting on her windowsill, a little, we can call it a shrine to her lovely daughter, your mom, of course. And she's like, I made you some broccoli rabe, your favorite. And she walks over to the fridge and she opens it and she takes out this plastic little tub. Anybody who doesn't know, broccoli rabe is like, it's a kind of Italian bitter greens dish. It's quite literally as it's described, with a bunch of different spices in it. And it's sitting in, like I said, a kind of a plastic round tub. And as she hands it over to you, you can feel there's still like warmth in it, even it hasn't fully cooled down. And she's like, if you need more, you just come over and ask, okay? Don't want you spending your money on any of the food or the cafeteria stuff at your school. I know that stuff can be super expensive. I can cook for you for free. And what else am I going to be doing with my free time? She points over to her rocking chair where she's got a quilt that she's halfway through knitting. She's like, I'm not cooking, I'm just knitting. Sit. Tell me how things have been going. And as you walk in, she kind of hands that food to you. She kind of gives you a hug from the side and gives you like rubs your back and pats it a couple times and points at a couch that has been around, you're almost certain, longer than you have.
Well, you know, I got a blush of life for this broccoli.
Of course. So go ahead and go ahead and rouse me and make me a rouse check.
Yeah.
And as you do that, you described her hair. Her hair still pitch white. She gets it freshly permed every month. So It's still like, it's pitch white, but it is curly and poofy. She's got glasses that hang by a chain that she pulls off and lets her dangle. And like you said, for 79 especially, she's healthy. She's up, she's moving, she's living on her own. Nobody's helping her here. And as she kind of makes her way to her rocking chair and she gestures for you to sit on the couch, she sits back and you just have her attention. All of her attention is on you. Her glasses are down. She turns she looks at the TV with her remote and just mutes it entirely and just looks at you with eyes that scream, tell me your life.
And Elspeth, she'll take a couple of sips bites of the bites of the and she'll have a seat, get herself comfortable, she always does, and begin recounting. She'll talk about some study stuff, but also like how it's been busy at work, that she's working at the shop in Salem, and we're gearing up for the busy season. Once the summer comes, it's going to be so busy again, and oh my gosh. And Elspeth is just going off about her busy life, and just poignantly talking about the things she can talk about, and keeping mostly everything out. Maybe she might even mention, I made a few new friends that I've been hanging out with, and they're really nice, and that's been great.
You bring up friends and she immediately, her eyes widen a bit. She's like, oh, tell me about them. You meet them at school, at work?
Well, I kind of met them at work. They came by the shop. There's one guy's name is David, and he's really nice.
As soon as you say this one, his name is David, her eyes just roll and she goes, what'd I tell you about boys? They're just going to distract you from getting your education. Get your degree, get a good job, and then you can put a boy under your heel.
Oh, no. David, it's not like that. He's sweet.
She
and
looks at you, she's like, I can see it in your cheeks. They're getting red, you're getting flustered. You like the boy, and that's okay. Boys can be fun. But your education has to come first, okay?
Oh, yeah. Well, he's really into studies as well. We're learning a lot of things and studying about history and a lot of things in like ancient Europe, and it's been really great.
She kind of smiles as you, and like bites her tongue very clearly about as you say that stuff, not fully believing you that it's like just a friend or what have you. But she does, she's very, very attentive to you when she's listening. And as you kind of talk about stuff, out of curiosity, is your mom still around?
She's not.
Okay. And as you finish talking, she just says, you just remind me of your mother so much.
Yeah.
Except for, and then there's a moment where she takes a beat and she's like, especially when it comes for the boys and not your education. She's like, she looks back to you. She's like, look, your mother was wonderful, but she left school for your father, and your father was your father.
Well, it's been instilled in me since I was this little about how important education was from you, especially. And I haven't forgotten that.
She smiles. Good. I just never heard you talk about Europe with such enthusiasm until a boy named David came around suddenly and was a new friend.
Well, okay. It's not just David, by the way. I have other friends. So there's this lady named Janet. She's a bit older, but older than me, but she's really, really nice. And
She
older.
your grandmother's just smiling, and she's like, oh, I had a Janet. I knew a Janet once. She was a wonderful lady.
Oh, yeah. So, but it's been great. It's been great to
How are your grades?
You
can go ahead and make me, by the way, a nice, lovely manipulation persuasion check. I mean, manipulation subterfuge check, as you're clearly lying
just
about
lying
all
to
of
grandma.
This shit. Yeah, just
I know,
lying
right?
to grandma about
I'm working at the
school.
shop.
Make me feel bad, guys.
Yeah, 3 successes is plenty. She's like, tell me about your grades and like, what's your favorite class? Who's your least favorite professor? If I could have gone to school when I was your age, I would have gone to school for the rest of my life.
Well, I was, and I would just go like kind of recite some things about, I'm really loving the like anthropological studies. And
immediately as you begin talking, almost as a sign of you're not going anywhere, she puts on her glasses. She's looking to you and very much paying attention. She just begins to crochet the Afghan as she lets you talk. And unless, you make up a whole hour's worth of lies about how school's going and how everything else is going. I imagine sprinkling in real names of real people that you've met, Janet, obviously, David, obviously, maybe Betty comes up at some point. Maybe Leon comes up at some point. Maybe Roman comes up at some point. Whether you tell her about them.
Not the hot motorcycle guy, Grandma.
That's really charade about Grandma.
Maybe you don't bring up Roman because you already know she's going to be like, But you go on for a good while. And really, it becomes clear as us as a listener and kind of observing the story, it becomes clear that you've built quite a fantastical life for Grandma Ellen
Lenore,
not Eleanor, obviously, but for her to believe in. And there's a lot of just the way you speak, the little small kind of conversation tidbits and little bits that hint that you've been building the story for quite some time, and callbacks to other previous things you may have told her, because you've been out of school now for over a year, multiple semesters at this point. But Grandma is none the wiser. And she is extraordinarily thrilled to hear that you are doing, I imagine, mostly well in your classes, a believable amount of well in your classes. Was Elle always a pretty? I feel like she was. Well, actually, why am I asking? You
honors program, all of that. Yeah,
exactly.
I bet you went through the DARE program. Were you gifted too?
Very goody two shoes. Yes, definitely.
The gifted golden child.
Yep.
The only child too, right?
Only child. Yeah.
Yep. Exactly.
No.
And as you walk the story down, it's almost like your grandmother gets recharged from these stories. You can see her energy levels rising as you're telling her how well you're doing. And as you're wrapping it up and telling her like, well, I should probably get going. I've got a project in the morning or whatever the excuse is, she gets up with a bit more pep in her step than she did when she answered the door. And she comes over and just gives you a big hug and a big wet kiss on the side of your face. And as she pulls the glasses off, she's like, how about we don't wait a month to come see your old grandmother? I could be dead tomorrow.
Don't
one bad fall down the stairs and that could be it. I'm done. Listen,
I don't say that.
These old bones just aren't what they made, used to.
You look how healthy you are. The doctor said you had a perfect bill of health the last time
God could call my number tomorrow, and you know what? I ain't gonna turn down the call.
Well,
If my time is now, so be it. And as she says that, something that as you kind of argue playfully back and forth with her, this is something that your grandmother does all the time. She's been doing it for years. Honestly, especially after your mom passed, whenever that or left your life, shall we say, whether that's passing or not, we can find out in the future. But there's a very much a more like she's not wishing for death, but she's often like, well, I'm old, so I could die tomorrow. Make sure you come see me more because I could be dead tomorrow.
The guilt.
The guilt, the grandparent
trip.
guilt. Yep.
Exactly that. My grandmother did that from the age 70 to 100. And then
for 30 years.
Like, bruised her hip.
I could die anytime.
Literally, I love Nani. Well, miss you a lot. She fell and like broke her, like hurt her hip. And she's like, you know what? I'm going to die now. And she like willed herself to death over the course of 2 weeks.
Wow.
Just like, yeah, she'd been waiting to die for a long time.
Hey, look, when you ready, you ready.
She was 100 and she was still like knitting and stuff. And she'd been begging for death for 30 years. So she got it. And so,
I love her already.
Yeah, man. Nani was amazing. I love that woman. So this very much your grandmother is not quite like that, but she's just like, hey, how about you come see your old grandmother more than once a month? Because I could be dead tomorrow. Who knows? COVID could happen and I could just die. And so, letting you like leave and just being like, all right. She gives you one more hug and one more kiss, and she gets like one more good look at your face, and she's like, oh, you're so beautiful. And as she just gives you like another hug. She's she kind of sends you on your way. You say your goodbyes, and we say Elspeth with a little plastic bag that's like Target or Walmart branded with a couple of like tubs of Robbie in there to take home. Walking back toward the stairs, you can hear the deadbolt behind it, and it just says happy home, like with a little like Christ cross hanging on the front of her apartment. Very much, and very different from the other ones. And you make your way out. Maybe like you're gonna arrive at the quarry, shall we say, for like maybe 2 or so hours later than you usually do. But it was a nice visit, and another reminder that you aren't all that far away from your life prior to all of this. To you, you've only been in this kindred life, like you said, for maybe a year and a half as a kindred, another year and a half or two as a ghoul. But even during your ghouling years, you were still kind of going to college in that time. So seeing your grandmother and walking away, those emotions, love and happiness, and maybe even a little melancholy, well, they're not ringing as strong as they once were when you were human. They still well up in a way that is reminiscent, an echo of what they once were. And while they don't, like I said, they don't maybe rip you apart and make you feel as sad or as guilty as they may have once done, as you kind of walk down the stairs, they still sit heavily on you. I don't want to say in a bad way. It doesn't necessarily mean bad, and not in a bad way, but again, you're barely a year removed from your mortal life, and having to lie to your grandmother is still something kind of new to Elspeth. Maybe even as we see her walking down the stairs, do we see, as our camera lingers closer to Elspeth, as concrete walls pass, we can hear the echoing of your footsteps on these concrete stairs in the side hallway. Is there a look of like pressure release on her face? Like okay, I don't have to lie anymore. And you almost
mask.
Sometimes you just tell yourself like I had to do it for the greater good, or I had to do it for her own safety, rationalize and for real reasons why you had to do it. And we see, the mask kind of falling off a little bit, having to accept it. And we follow you really close out the front door as the brisker, colder winds kind of take back over, much closer to your actual body temperature as you rousing of the blood and the blush of life fades away, and you kind of go back to that more pale corpse-like state as you step out of the elderly living area. It's a nice little parallel to how you have to live 2 separate lives. You get into your hearse, and as you drive out the gate, the security guard doesn't even look up this time. Just you're leaving, button is pressed, this little security gate lifts, you drive off. And as you peel onto I-93 and head back north to Boston to get back to Waltham, our camera fades back into the sky before it fades back down over to the quarry, where, Janet, as you wake up for this evening, everybody else can rouse check me to wake up, by the way.
So this is 3 days out from the last time I chatted with the two of them? Okay.
Yep. It'll be just you. As you wake up, maybe Elspeth's already gone, or you're like, as you're about to talk to Elspeth, she's like, we'll talk when I get back. I got to go see my grandmother.
Yeah, that's fine. No, that absolutely. I just wanted to make sure I knew where Janet was in this timeline of hop, skipping, and jumping.
Yeah.
Well,
We're still luckily pretty in line here.
Dave playing is being a little weird, so I'm refreshing roll 20. Give me just a
Oh
second.
yeah, please, you can go for it.
Just being funky. There we go. Hey, good news
Perfect.
for Janet. We don't get more hungry. Okay.
Unless there's any conversation you want to have with David privately, Janet.
No, Janet is trying to kind of give David space until he completes whatever he's working on. Like, she's just treating the artist with respect enough to say, when you're ready to talk to me, you'll come get me.
Yeah. Elspeth, you would see her in the headlights. You would hear the not necessarily the loud rumbling, but the rumbling of the hearse as it comes to a parking stop. And as you, Elspeth, as you walk towards the gate, you noticed on the way out, but you notice it even more so on the way in, there is a hooked up operating keypad lock system that is not locked into the gate quite yet, but it is all wired up and powered and ready to go. And there's a couple of CCTV cameras that are in the areas that they're going to be set up in. Security is in full swing getting set up in the quarry over the past couple of nights. You've seen Magpie coming and going. You saw Leon briefly as he was coming and going, and just security is being all set up here. You walk into the gate, and eventually, we'll just say, the three of you on the bottom floor of this quarry down near the pods all come together. And Janet, I'm assuming you made it clear you'd like to talk to the two of them as soon as everybody's like free to do so.
Yeah, I wouldn't rush them. I don't need them to panic. Right? This is just
I'm not saying you're like, we need to talk now.
Yeah. Janet,
like, hey,
she just says, I'm around if you want to talk.
Team meeting later at some point. You do have
yeah.
You saw Betty as well coming and going a little bit, both David and Elspeth. But yeah, eventually the three of you would get together.
Hey guys, how's it going? I did a little house visit.
House visit?
I went to see my grandmother. It's been a while since I've seen her, and just wanted to check in and make sure she was okay, and she's doing good. So,
you bring the Robbie? Do you have the plastic bag of now?
I brought some homemade dinner. I bet it's been a while since you guys have had a home cooked meal.
I cook every day.
But that's not the same. Janet, you cook body parts.
Yeah, because that's what I eat, not broccoli and rice and what is that, pie?
It's not the same. And honestly, it's not even the same now when I eat this. It tastes like mostly ash.
Well, let's sit down and have a home cooked meal, basically not cooked by Janet. And we'll talk about we need to talk. I have David, how is your sculpture?
I'm just putting some finishing touches on it mostly at this point.
I am almost finished. I'm not sure, but I feel like I know them.
Who?
The piece
sculpture
that I've made. Yes, they seem very familiar.
Is it like talking to you, or he looks like somebody you know? I gotta ask these questions with David. There's no precedence here.
She feels like someone that I know, and I do not know how I know them.
Okay. Oh, well, maybe it is somebody from your past, or maybe it's one of these many personalities you got all up and inside of you, which we're gonna talk about here in a minute. So good news from your little biker boyfriend. We have we have located an off the grid Tremere to potentially help David maybe answer some of his questions.
Yeah. I was there for that.
Yeah.
Great.
That was the last conversation you guys had.
Well, over the last few days, while you've each had your own things going on, I've been dealing with some security with Leon. Betty came through with valid information as to not only where David's box is, but the fact that we could get it. We did, and we gave it back.
Gave it back to
the Tremere.
You gave David's box back to the
Our
Tremere.
contract with the Tremere is officially closed.
What? That's it?
It's all done.
Give them the box and we're good?
You signed the contract. You knew what the deal was. The deal was they wanted the box back, empty or not. Betty was able to chat with some strange Nosferatu down on, the dark side, and he had the box. I didn't touch it. I wasn't even there for the trade-off. I just called the Tremere and they picked it up. And that's it. It's over.
And so we're off the hook now. Are we?
So about that.
Well, you saw the New York.
Oh, we still have that punishment. So we're not free. We're not free to roam outside
We're not.
Or are you
Boston.
free from the Boston Boon? Technically,
No, this was just
a
a side quest, one might say, to just really drive home the fact that we're not in control of our own fucking lives. So we have closed the contract with the Tremere. Problem is, now that they have the box, they could learn a variety of other pieces of information, like Tremere are want to do, the little weasels.
They could learn more about David.
Yeah. And the fact that he's walking around, what he might look like, who else touched that box. For the record, not touched the box. I have not touched the box.
They could track David.
No, they don't have his blood.
I don't know if they need his blood to use a tracking thing. I think they just need. I'd have to double check the ritual, but
the reality is even though we are out of the contract with the Tremere, we are now a little bit pressured on time to figure out what we're gonna do
about David.
No, what David would like to do, which is that we can just sit here and wait. We can just sit and wait for him to show up. Or
and then what?
We could go visit this Tremere, the Witch of the Yards, and chat with her about maybe, doing something to help David stay incognito. You know what I mean?
Protection?
Yeah. Sure. Sure.
This is bad. If they come for David, this is the worst nightmare that I had, that they take him.
Yeah.
And make experiments on him, and
which is why I'm telling you that at least we're not under Tremere jurisdiction anymore, which gives us some freedoms now to do something to help David. Before, we were just kind of locked in. But now that they have the box, our timeline is,
shortened by a lot. Okay, so we need to...
David, honey, how are you feeling about all of this? We found your box. Well, Betty found your box.
Our camera slowly pans over to David in this conversation. Does he just look like stoic as he's listening to this?
Was the box empty?
Yes. At least that's what Betty said.
Was there not another box?
Well, there was another box, but Leon and Betty, we retrieved that one the night with you, and that box is gone. We gave that one away to the Ventru.
Why did this Nosferatu have the box that I was in?
See, David, you are such a smart fella. I've been thinking on that the last couple nights. Now, technically, we know that the docks that you and all of those other crates arrived on are run by the Nosferatu. My guess is that the LLC company signed for it, even though it was a Tremere, and the box was retrieved by a Nosferatu who runs those docks, and he was sitting on it. He called himself, what did Betty say? The collector, the treasure hunter, the hoarder. What was his name?
The archivist.
The archivist. Sure. Whatever his fucking name was. And there was, in fact, quite my understanding, because again, I didn't go, is that Betty had to make a bit of a trade to acquire the box, and he doesn't really accept cold hard cash. So, but this was our one and only chance to finish up this contract. And what was I supposed to do? Bring the box back here and keep us all very liable? No, no, we gave it back.
What did Betty trade?
Did she tell me?
God
knows,
so.
But did she tell me what I had? What she had?
That's
right. She had a memory.
Not memory taken though. The memory just copied.
Yeah. It was. She didn't lose the memory, but she had to have a memory copied. I don't know how that works. That's
A
way
Nos
outside my picture.
and this was a Nosferatu that did this?
Supposedly,
Okay. I didn't know they were capable of taking memories.
they're
Interesting.
usually not, which makes them a rather powerful Nosferatu. Thus, more than likely, why he had his hands on this box.
Yeah. I don't know if Betty explained it too. He called himself the archivist because he considered himself a historian of kindred.
Yeah,
Was
I don't know
their
that she
art.
came back and like told us all of
Gotcha.
that,
Yeah, I
but like,
can't remember
yeah,
what she did and what she didn't tell you.
I got the general gist of it as much as I
Yeah.
could, anyways.
Then should we not meet the archivist?
Oh no, honey. I have no interest in meeting the archivist. Our business is done with him. In fact, he didn't even have business with us. He had business with Betty.
The only reason that he relieved the box is because he felt satisfied on his information. And what does he know about the box that we do not?
No, he traded up the box because he got what he wanted from Betty.
But why would you trade something of greater value for something of lesser value?
Maybe he felt like her memory was of greater value than the box, or maybe he didn't know what he had.
Or maybe the box already served its purpose.
Potentially, but I can't imagine that's the truth if the Tremere is still looking for it. If the box was obsolete, why tell us they'll take the box with or without the cargo? My guess. Wow, your grandmother's a good cook.
Actually, yeah, you see, take a bite.
So my guess is that they want the box because it's the next best thing to getting their little grummy dark magic paws on you, David. With the box, they can do all kinds of Tremere magic bullshit and try to track you down.
What kind of magic could they possibly do with just a box? I'm not claiming to know everything about.
Honey, I pull out the lighter. We asked Betty to run a bunch of auspex on just this lighter alone to tell us stuff on
Oh yeah,
Liz.
how did that go, by the way?
Nothing. I got nothing. Dead end. Nothing. This lighter is
Nothing?
good for nothing but fire. The box, on the other hand, well, I didn't. Betty didn't get anything. But the fact of the matter is, with the box that David potentially has been sleeping in for a real long time, it's got his aura, his essence. They could probably tell all kinds of stuff.
Well, okay.
This is why I think we ought to take a little trip down to see this lady, the Witch of the Yard, have a conversation, figure out if there's anything she can do to help David.
I agree.
Trying time before they get too much time with this fucking box.
I agree. That is,
you are much more agreeable than the rest of the company I've helped for the last 2 minutes.
well, you're the one that wanted to be away from the two innocents and be with people who.
You didn't hear that conversation. You don't know that. I wanted to give the both of you some space to work on your creative endeavors, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I need more food. I am hungry.
Oh, you're hungry, honey? Okay. Well, there's nothing left of this broccoli and rice because I ate it all. But we can go
put a
out.
link in the Zoom chat of the actual dish, by the way.
Oh.
Because I have no idea what she brought with her. I'm just
Broccoli Rob.
a broccoli.
like a
Broccoli
bitter
Rob.
green dish.
Mhm. Great. I ate it anyways.
Delicious.
Well, we can. Is there somewhere we can? Do you want to do it by yourself, David? Do you want us to come with you? You want to take a trip? What? How can I support you?
A part of me just wishes to go into the forest again, but I was advised against it.
Yeah, we don't. Why the forest?
Because that is where people are not. I do not wish to feed on people.
Oh, right. You're looking for your animals. Well, animals can be found in places other than just the forest. Yeah, there are petting zoos. There's regular zoos. There's farms. Go out far. There's farms. There's
Pet store.
A pet store. Great, good choice. Shelters.
The
There's pet
sewers?
shelters. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sure, honey. Okay.
I feel more driven and connected to the lamb.
To
I
the
don't
who?
know why, but to
You
the
want
lamb.
a lamb?
The petting zoo
Like-
had sheep.
Okay,
Oh.
like an innocent little lamb
Or a ram, but something like
or
this,
a
yes.
ram. Mathis? Where would we
You can go to the
find?
petting zoo. We can go to the petting zoo. He
We
goes there
could-
quite often.
We could just go back to the petting zoo.
Okay. Yeah, sure, honey. You tell us where you want to go. Well, we'll take you wherever you want to eat tonight.
I don't know what to do with the statue. I'm afraid to just leave it out in the open. I know that it
Why?
is stone, or granite, or marble, whatever I am working with, but I don't know. I feel strangely connected to it, and I'm afraid
Well,
to
honey,
leave
it's
it
too
outside.
heavy to take it with you. I mean, we can put it as long as you can pick it up. We can put it inside of one of the containers. We can take it inside of the building where eventually it could go on display safely under security cameras. It's up to you.
David, we could make a special spot for it. Like, maybe we find a little nice spot.
Do you know her? Have you seen this woman?
No.
No,
Nope.
no. Um,
I will move it into my container.
yeah, honey. And look, Leon, he has our little key code set up. We're gonna get our little locks in place. You know,
Is this what you meant by making artwork that people might enjoy and that we could bring money back to you or to us?
no, honey, to you.
But you have
In
helped me
fact-
so much. I would like for you to have some of that money.
Oh, honey, I'm gonna get my money. Don't you worry about that. Why do you think I'm here? No. I wanted you to make statues so that if you were comfortable with the idea, the business would buy them from you, pay you for your artwork, and then we would sell them through the business. People could put them in the foyers of their fucking, whatever, or maybe it stands at the head of somebody's grave. I mean, she is quite
Ooh.
beautiful.
I love
you
that
know.
idea. Gravestone statues.
Well,
Maybe
I'm
we-
glad that I've scratched your gothic itch for the day. I think what I'm trying to say is, David, to formally say you work for this company. Here is an invoice. Actually, you would hand me the invoice. Here is a payment stub. It's your first check. I'm paying you for the statue.
What do I do now?
Well, you cash that check for money that you put in your new wallet.
Where do I cash this check?
The bank. We'll get there. Just hang on to it. Put it in your wallet for now. Don't lose it.
Will they give me a card like the library?
Yeah, usually
yeah,
they do.
would you like a card?
A bank card, a debit
You
card.
know-
Without an
to
actual
show-
government ID, he will not be able to get one.
I'm going to teach you how to put that money somewhere where it can't be tracked. Neither can you. It's called a prepaid debit card. And the money goes right on and it comes right off. And you don't need to show your face on camera or government issue IDs to get a bank account. So right now, just hang on to that. I'm also going to teach you what a Western Union is, because ain't no better way to cash your check.
Is there
They're
a
going
way
to charge
that
you fees out of their ass, but huh?
I can have someone take care of this for me?
Would you like me to do that and just hand you cash back, David?
Yes.
Okay.
I do not know how much cash I need, but I do not.
Janet hands him. She was going to pay him $1,000 for the statue. I don't know what it's worth or what. I just want David
Sure,
to feel
yeah.
like he's working to earn his money, like he has his own money that is not tied to through Janet, right? And so she goes, you know what? Here's $1,000. That statue will stay here until we find a loving home for it, somebody that loves it as much as you do. And then guess what? They're going to pay us to buy it again, and you're going to get more money.
That is great news.
Yes. For now, that is now your money. You can put it wherever you want.
David nods, and then he immediately turns to Elspeth.
You should take this so that you can pay her back the money that you owe her.
No, David, you have to keep your money. You can't you're not supposed to give it away.
I
But you have given
appreciate
me money, and I want to help.
that is I appreciate that
Elspeth
act of
needs
charity.
to earn her own $1,000 to pay me back. You earned
She's
yours
right.
by carving this beautiful
Then-
statue.
Elspeth, can I hire you to help me with things that I do not understand?
Like a secretary?
Yes, like a secretary.
David, I appreciate that. But I feel I do have to work my own debts off that I owe Janet.
Good.
So
That you keep that money, David. I swear, if I see you hand it to Elspeth for any reason other than to spend it on yourself, we're gonna have. Look, you know how many clothes and milkshakes you
Milkshakes?
can buy with $1,000? A lot.
It seems like a lot of milkshakes, by the way that you were saying that.
It does. And you know what? If you decide you don't know what to do with it, I'll teach you about the stock market. But until then, if you have a place to spend it, go spend it, honey.
He
teach me
slips
about
all
the stock
$1,000 directly into his wallet and then puts it back in his pocket.
I do not like this. It is
You're
bulky.
$1,000 richer. Feels good, doesn't it?
It feels bulky. It tumorous.
Yeah, honey. The constant reminder of the weight of wealth.
spoken like a true Ventru.
That's right. Speaking of Ventru, I was thinking. It was actually Betty's ramblings the other day that got me thinking about what Leon's Saya. Do you remember the lady in the basement
I
of
do.
the hospital?
I
Right.
could not
She had a
forget
lot.
her.
She had a lot to say. But do you remember the 3 words she described you as? 3 become 1.
Yes. This
What
we
was it?
know.
Noble, new, and old. Now, we're pretty much convinced at this point, in some way, shape, or form, you got Cappadocian blood running through those veins. But the other 2 we're a little questionable on. Now, for a while, because of your very good physique, I assumed you were a Toreador, right? But none of those descriptions really match the Toreador technically, unless you really bend it by them being, of high blood, therefore they're noble. But little known fact, Ventru can be just as charismatic as a Toreador. In fact, some of us are even more charismatic. Do you know what the symbol for the Ventru is, hon?
Is it
I know.
the crown?
It is a crown. Well done. Put your hand
And a
down. This is
scepter.
not class. Yeah, the
But
scepter.
Lasombra is actually a crown. I'm actually.
Yeah, no,
I'm
go ahead. You're
sorry,
on
I'm
actually
still learning.
correctly.
Okay. All right. So actually me. Okay. So what if it's not Toreador? What if the noble blood is Ventru blood? David's presence and the things that he does could be attached to Ventru blood.
So wait, remind me again what it was that they said it was
Noble, new, old.
noble, new, old. Noble, new, and old. That's like an oxymoron.
Well, you got 3, so you got 1. So if the noble bloodline's Ventru and the old bloodline is Cappadocian, or it could be that it's a new bloodline, Hecata. But my guess is it's old Cappadocian. What is a new bloodline? What is new?
What if it is not a bloodline, but it is someone that was a new kindred?
It's because there is David has had strange memories of like
The
modern
bar.
times.
I remember the bar.
Okay, so a new kindred, an old kindred, and a noble kindred? So
Possibly.
what if it's not bloodlines at all? What if we've actually been thinking about that wrong? What would be considered a noble kindred? Maybe that's actually the old bloodline when we actually still sat on thrones and shit.
Which, in that way, it could also still be a Ventru, but also it could be a Toreador because I think they also
They've been around a hot
ruled
minute.
cities and all of that.
Toreador.
Sorry.
Bloody
But yes, that's a good point that it could turn
So what if
to.
it's, I mean, maybe it is still about the blood David's carrying, but it's actually not about the clan. One of them, noble, new, or old, is Cappadocian, because obviously that's why you're here and why you carried this little heart stone in with you from the whole beginning of this. But the other 2 could actually not have anything to do with the clan specific, but with the person. A new kindred and an old kindred. I
Yeah.
hadn't thought about it that way.
I just think that it is coincidental that I feel drawn to to the dead, and I do not see my body the same way that you see my body. I only see art. And I wish to make art.
Oh, honey, most people look at you and see art. There's zero question about that.
One day, I hope to understand how and why you see me the way that you see me.
What do you mean?
I
How do I see you?
I'm just David, and the easiest way to explain it is that Janet does not look at me the same way that Ivy looks at me.
Oh, yeah, honey. Well, everybody's got preferences. I think she's got a little crush on you, you know? Just a little heart-thumping, pants-ripping crush.
I understand.
You understand?
I do not
Okay.
wish to have pants either.
Yeah. I think she'd probably be okay with that. But for now, I think what you're asking is maybe why I don't have a crush on you, or maybe why she does have a crush on you.
I just do not see why people have these intimate desires. I do not
Okay.
understand it the same way.
Oh, I see. Yeah, well, hun, you and me both. Some people consider that asexual. You're not really, you know, drawn to any one person's or genders. Maybe you are drawn to yourself. That is also an option. But some people, there are just non-sexual people, honey, and that's okay.
I don't know how I would be drawn to myself because I do not know how I see myself, knowing that I am more than one.
Oh, I was gonna say we could get you a mirror, but I understand what you're saying.
Mm.
I know that I
Okay.
look different when I am hungry, and that person is not David.
No. You're right. It's not David. Oftentimes the beast and the person aren't necessarily the same. And you're talking about potentially three different beasts if they had. That's why I was trying to kind of get to the bottom of this, which is why I think you're right, David. All these questions about noble, new, old, 537, Hagia Sophia, fucking Cappadocian blood, all of this stuff can potentially be answered if we just go visit the Witch of the Yard.
I agree. I think we should go find this person and see if they can help. And maybe they might even have more answers to what we're looking for.
Can I be honest about something about me?
Yes, of course.
The hungry me scares me more than the prince and than the harpy. They are more confident than I have ever known or seen anyone to be.
They're Ventru. I'm telling you, I think you got Ventru blood, kid.
I
They
understand
said
what
Pietro. I was like, what?
Ventru.
Yeah.
I understand that, David. The beast or whatever that is, I think it's meant to scare us a little bit because it's not who we are. It's like the worst of us. But for you, it's like quite literally not who you are. For me, at least, I think it's just a dark, twisted version of who I am inside. But for you, it's potentially a whole different person.
I know this is another person. This person talked to me and acknowledged me as if I was not there, like I was a second person in the room. It is not David. It is
like
someone
a multiple
else.
personality type thing.
I'm sorry that you're going through this, David.
I am too, and that's why I want to get you some answers because maybe it'll enlighten you or help you better understand. But first, before we go see the Witch of the Yard, we need to get you something to eat. Right? You
Thank
hungry?
you. Yes, I am.
Yes.
I would like to feed.
Petting zoo?
Yes, please.
Where you want to go? Okay. Let's go in the car. You got that address. I got the address from Roman, right? Yeah. All right.
Mm-hmm. The plan then to go feed. Does anybody else need to feed, or is it just David right now?
I'm at 2. I'll live.
I'm at 2 as well. I'll make it through this. Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you at then, David? 3?
3.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So you go to the petting zoo. It's relatively simple. You can go ahead and make me a dexterity stealth check, David.
Sure. Let's see here. Is this like me sneaking in?
Yeah. You're flying in, I imagine, very, very quietly.
Okay. 5 successes.
You're fine. You're more than fine. You're able to. If you spend, it takes a little bit longer than I think most people would, feeding on a human and whatnot, because you're just trying to avoid being seen and stirring up animals and causing a ruckus while you're in there. But with 5, you're plenty successful enough to feed off of a ram or 2 to bring yourself down to 1 hunger.
This might be kind of an old callback here, but did you ever play A Link to the Past?
I mean, yeah, of course.
Okay. When you're in alternate world as Link and you're traveling through the forest and you see the satyr that's sitting on the stump, like letting the animals come to him, that's sort of how I pictured his farmer nature, is to like just to sit idly and let them kind of congregate around him.
So it probably takes you like a good 45 minutes to
Yeah, I think
feed,
so.
maybe even less than longer, because like you said, you kind of get in quietly. Instead of like approaching an animal, you wait for them to naturally notice you and to be drawn to you, which they are every single time you're here. So Elspeth and Janet are sat in the car for about an hour as he does his thing. Is it just like casual conversation? Like there's no specific topics either one of you want to bring up and have a conversation about? You don't have to, obviously, just give you have an opportunity. No, okay. And after, like I said, about an hour, David would make his way back. You would see him approaching from the rear of the car as he kind of flew out and snuck around. As he gets into the vehicle, it drives off. Much more, everybody feeling pretty sated at this point. 2, and 1 for hunger. And you begin your drive south. Back, it's actually out, the Witch of the Yards is in Anarch territory, to remind you. It is in the back end of the Anarch territory. It's out in Dorchester area. So you will be driving a good hour or so out that way. Yeah. I mean, it came with the finding a Tremere that's off grid.
Yeah,
And to remind you, Roman wasn't able to confirm she's Tremere, more that she is capable of magic, so she's likely Tremere. So you're going to be making your way, like I said, for about an hour down to South Dorchester. And as you drive off, I'm going to have the camera pan out. We'll fade to black and we'll take a bit of an earlier break and we'll pick up with the Witch of the Yards in a little bit. So go ahead and refill your drinks, get yourselves ready, and we'll be back in a few minutes.
All right, guys.
Bye.